Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today I wanted to discuss the mistakes to avoid in Zenless Zone Zero and of course, general tips that will be pretty handy. Before we get into today's video though, let me know which limited character you guys are more interested in, Ellen or Zhu Yuan. Personally, I'd have to go with Ellen since she has a shark tail, plus she's a maid, so I think it's pretty cool combo. Lastly, if you guys enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe to win your first 50/50 in Zenless and also hit the like button to support the video. Now, let's get straight into it. To start with my first suggestion, if you are a free-to-play player or a low spender, I would recommend never spending Polychromes on the standard banner or for stamina refreshes. I just made a video actually explaining the Gacha system based on the latest beta, and you only want to use this currency on the limited banner as this will help you get closer to getting the limited characters on the banner, which these characters will go away after a set period of time, so planning your pulls for who you want will be very important to ensure that you can pick up the characters you want in the game. Another mini tip regarding the limited banners would be that since the first two banners will be Ellen and Zhu Yuan, for those interested in Ellen, I would highly recommend considering looking into Sokako as a supportive option to use alongside Ellen. And for those interested in Zhu Yuan, I would say to consider looking into Nicole. Of course though, these two characters will be great assets to use regardless because of their supportive capabilities, but I thought I'd mention these two in particular due to the matching elements and buffs they can provide for Ellen and Zhu Yuan in particular. As for a next tip, I would recommend to make sure that you do your dailies as well as use your stamina to make sure you don't potentially waste opportunities to get additional materials to upgrade your characters. For how to use your stamina early on, I would primarily recommend using stamina or rather prioritizing your character levels, weapon levels, as well as enhancing character skills. Disk drives will also be important as these are essentially the relic system of the game or gear system where you can get more stats and even get bonuses from having multiple matching disk drives on your character. These of course will be very important as well, but I would primarily recommend early on instead of extensively farming your disk drives, I would try to ensure that your character, weapon, and skill levels get attended to first, as these are guaranteed stat bonuses, rather than the RNG associated with the disk drives. Essentially, early on, use the good main stat disk drives you do get, and then try to get precise main and substats later, which is basically min-maxing your characters to have ideal stats. When it comes to investing into characters though, since Shio Defense, which is basically the memory of chaos of this game if you guys are familiar with Honkai Star Rail, this will require you to have two teams later on. I would try to think of multiple characters you are interested in playing and invest into them way more than the other characters on your account. Having one main team in the beginning will be a good start as you'll be able to have adequate resources, especially with using your stamina for more resources to focus on your primary team. Then I would recommend thinking of a secondary team to get invested into after your initial team is powering through content and you feel like your damage is enough to deal with the larger enemy HP thresholds. One team example I can give is let's say you get Lycon and you also have Ellen. You can make a team consisting of Lycon, Ellen, and Sokaku, and this team will be very powerful when it comes to dealing with enemies, especially if you invest into these characters by leveling them up, their weapons, and of course skill levels. We'll have to wait to see on launch how scarce or common resources are, especially with the events and how many free resources we might be given on launch. But this is just my general recommendation so that you guys can have a pretty strong team earlier on. Zenless will have your first standard pulls be discounted, where essentially you'll be able to get a 5-star, or as they were referred to in Zenless, S-rank character within 510 pulls. This is discounted so you're actually only spending 40 standard pulls, and based on previous betas as well as pre-registration rewards that we do have confirmed so far, you'll be able to get your first S-rank pretty quickly. Assuming you do like the S-rank you get from the discounted pulls, I would recommend revolving your first team around this character. All of the standard characters will be great for creating a baseline team that will help you progress nicely through the content in the early game. And as the game gets more difficult later on, the investment you made towards that team will be able to help you get through the content. Of course though, you can use the free characters you will get too for your baseline team. Corrin and Billy are nice physical DPS options, and if you are interested in using either of these two characters, they can be nice choices overall. Speaking of free characters though, assuming they don't heavily change her kit on release, Nicole is a great option as a supportive character you can use on your teams, as her utility is quite useful. A tip I can give for team building would also be to take a look at the character's core passives to see who they can benefit from on the team. Based on previous betas, core passes are essentially additional aspects and benefits to a character's kit that are unlocked depending on what characters you have on a team. Let's say you pull Koldea, and she benefits from having an additional fire character on the team. You'll be able to put Ben alongside Koldea, which they actually have special animations and combos together which are really cool, and they have a nice synergy with one another. You'll want to put both of these characters together to ensure that you can activate those core passive benefits. We'll have to see on release what core passives each character has for more in-depth recommendations, but this is a nice thing to keep in mind when you are creating a team. You don't have to limit your team building to this though, but it would be beneficial to have those additional core passes for your characters for more damage output or potentially even more utility depending on what the core passive benefit is. As for the last few tips I have, I would recommend completing as many side quests as you can and also try to aim for 3 stars on story quests. This will allow you to get maximum rewards, and aiming for maximum stars while you're attempting the quest for the first or second time will be convenient so that you don't have to eventually go back and replay the missions for maximum stars and rewards. The final mini tip I have is to do the web events for Zenless Zone Zero, as you can get additional resources or even pulls by doing these web events, which there's actually one right now. One thing I thought I'd bring up though is for those that are interested in rerolling or understanding more about the standard S rank characters, I will be working on a video about each of these characters and giving you an overview of all of them as well as the benefits of picking up Ellen or Zhu Yuan as your limited character for version 1.0. That'll be all for today though. I will be making in-depth videos about Zenless very soon once we get more information from the live stream as well as the game's release. If anything from this video does change on release though, I will be updating my pinned comment in that scenario. Most of these tips are based off of my experience from playing Closed Beta 2 and Closed Beta 3, doing my research on the game, as well as noticing similarities between Zenless and other Hoyoverse games I have played before. If you guys did enjoy this video though, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like, support the video, and let me know if you are excited for Zenless. I hope to see you all next time. Peace.